I placed my back against the hallway wall and watched both dolls closely. I decided the only chance I had was to make a run for it. I ran towards the right, away from my room, as fast as I could. The thoughts of the witch kept entering my mind, but I pushed it to the side and thought the faster I run, the less likely I would get caught by either. I ran through the corridors, yelling for help, but no one came. It was as if I was the only one there. What was going on? I was so afraid, nearly petrified, but I kept willing my feet to move forward. Finally, I came towards the end of the hall, and there stood a door. It looked so eerily similar to my childhood door growing up at our own home. I opened the door, and it felt like I had stepped back in time into my grandmother's room. There to the right stood a huge canopy bed, and to the left, an old-timey chest of drawers with an old box TV. What on earth? Now I know I must be dreaming, but I won't throw caution to the wind. I turned just in the nick of time to see both dolls had stopped chasing me. Why? I closed the door and locked it. There to the left of me stood the closet that my great-grandmother used to warn me about when I was younger. Though I felt that the closet was like my own personal Narnia, she told me several times to stay away from it. Why, I never understood. There was nothing in there but old clothes and coats, shoes and purses, things that I loved to play in. But every time I got caught there, I always got in trouble. I thought maybe I should hide in there, or maybe I should try to pinch myself again. Something so that I can wake up. But maybe this dream is trying to tell me something. I opened the door because that was the only thing there to do. And inside was those same clothes and shoes and purses. I stepped in because, is there something I'm missing? What is happening? And then when I pushed the clothes back, I realized that there was an opening. And inside, there, staring me face to face, was the witch. My breath caught in my throat. I wanted to scream, but something about her features caught my eye. I studied her face, though the fear arose in me, and her mouth yet again twisted and gnarled into the most sinister smile I'd ever seen. "There you are," she said. "I've been waiting. You want to hear a story? So you like ghosts? Well, I have one for you." She grabbed me suddenly and pulled me into the dark. And again, I lost my breath. I felt the wind whipping around me. It felt like it was making little cuts against my skin. And again, I couldn't scream. Why am I always breathless when she is around? I tried to get my bearings. I tried to see. I grabbed for her hands. I tried to break free, but nothing worked. I tried to scratch and scrape at the walls, but only to find my hands bleeding, skin twisted and torn. Finally, we broke free into an empty room, a dungeon of sorts, and she let me go. But she looked different, in a different light. I have been here for years collecting souls, and I have been waiting for yours. It is finally time for me to get my vengeance. I was too afraid to talk. I could barely think. This had to be a dream. It can't be real. I had no words to say. It was your ancestors that had me hung. Your ancestors that killed my siblings and I. And we have been here waiting so long to take our revenge. At that time, the door opened, and in walked Kay. She smiled, the same gnarly, sinister, despicable smile. And now I realize why the witch's features look so familiar. Because they look alike. Kay walked over to me laughing. I can't believe it was so easy to get you here. To trick you all. We got all of you here exactly where we want you. All of us? I asked. Yeah. Have you ever wondered why you were always with that family that you barely even know? Haven't you wondered why they always had time and room for you? They were supposed to protect you from me. But Kay, why? Even if you're related to these people, why do you have to carry out this evilness? It wasn't evil when your ancestors had mine killed. It wasn't evil when my great-grandmother was left alone to fend for herself when her mothers and her aunts were murdered. That wasn't evil to you, Audrianna? Well, now you have returned, and my ancestors' souls can finally rest in peace once we have your skin. I started to scream. I tried to get up and run, but I felt so heavy. So I screamed as loud as I could. I screamed and I kicked, and I screamed and I kicked. And then I felt my body shaking, and I heard it again. Audrianna, Audrianna, wake up, wake up. I awoke to the girl standing atop me again. Audrianna, are you okay? I've already called my mom. You've been tossing and turning all night, even throughout this morning, talking in your sleep. She's gonna come and check on you now. What? Where's Kay? Who? Asked Tana. Alicia looked at me. She looked worried and afraid. The only other person here is Tamar, and she's in the bathroom. I don't know who a Kay is. Kay? The girl who was at the table with us last night? The one who walked the halls with us? You don't remember? Walk the halls? What are you talking about, Audrianna? We came in from dinner and we went to sleep. And we've been trying to wake you up all night. My mom should be here soon. Just get up and get dressed and let's get ready to go and have breakfast. No. I want to go home, I said. Okay, well, my mom is coming, but we should still go eat, said Tana. Alicia and Jazzy agreed. Tamar emerged from the restroom, just in the nick of time for us to get ready to go. I looked at her face, and she looked so familiar. I couldn't place it. We walked down the halls, and I must admit, the halls looked different from my dreams. Much brighter, just different. I didn't even see the ducks on the ceiling. Could I have made all of that up in my dream? We finally got to the cafeteria in the main corridor, and it looked the way it did when I came in. Bright, open, airy, spacious, and beautiful. We walked in again to an array and assortment of breakfast foods and treats. And of course, we found a table among the noisy children, and everyone talked about their nights. I overheard kids telling ghost stories and talking about them roaming the halls and the weird noises that they heard. And I looked over because I felt something strange. And there was a girl. She was so pretty. She was staring at me, her eyes an almondy shape and a beautiful hazel brown. She smiled at me sweetly, and then she walked over to me. "Hey, I'm Beatrix Canary, but you can call me Bea. How are you?" "Hi," I said, speaking to the first cheery person that I've seen since I've been here. It made me feel comfortable, more home-like. "How's it going?" she asked. It's been interesting," I said, trying to shake last night's dream. "I'm sure it has. You want to go over to the table with me and get something? A snack or something?" "Sure," I said. It was a nice break from the gloominess that I had been feeling all night, and I was waiting for Mrs. Caney to come. I just wanted to feel some normalcy. While walking, Bea stopped, and she put her arm around mine. "Hey, I know things probably seem very weird here, but you have to be on guard." I felt my heart started to race. "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" I asked. "You're going to have to be very vigilant and be as careful as you can. Do your best to leave here as soon as possible. You're going to have to leave quickly if you want to leave with your soul." "What?" I asked her. She turned to me and she smiled. "That dream was no dream, and the people around you aren't who you think they are. Trust me, you need to go. Come with me over to the table." She walked with me, and I felt her slip something into my pocket. "Don't touch this," she said. "You don't want your soul to be stuck here. Call someone and ask them to come pick you up. Doesn't matter who. Tell them they need to come within the next hour or two. Don't leave with Mrs. Caney." "What?" "Listen, I know you don't know me, but don't leave with her. Call a family member and tell them they need to come and get you now. The drive here is extremely long. There's no way someone's going to get to me in an hour to 2 hours." Bea turned me towards her, and she smiled the same sweet smile. Her eyes were big and bright. "Trust me, they'll get to you." "Who are you?" I asked, "and how do you know me?" Bea just winked and said, "I'll see you again," before turning sharply and walking off into the crowd. Back at the table, I took my seat. I waited a few moments before speaking up. I'm going to go up to the front and use my phone really quickly, and I'll be right back." "Why?" asked Alicia. I just want some privacy. I want to try to get in contact with my mom. But my mom is coming, and I'm pretty sure she's going to call your mom. So you might as well just wait till she gets here so that they can talk at the same time. No, I'm good, I said as I got up from the table. Well, how about I walk with you, just to make sure that you're okay? You've been acting so strange. No, I'm fine, I said. I'll be back soon, and if I don't meet you here, I'll meet you back at the room. Okay, said Alicia. Well, you know the activities are going to be starting soon anyway, and I'm pretty sure my mom is going to be looking for you. So just try to make it quick. Okay, cool, I said. Once at the front entrance, I felt a chill in the air, and from that chill, I knew things weren't right. I called my aunt. It's somewhat of a rare chance that she's in town, but hopefully she was home from work. She picked up on the second ring. I explained to her that things weren't going as well as I expected. I was feeling extremely weird and uncomfortable, and I was ready to go. She told me to hold tight, and she would be there soon to pick me up. I walked back in, and there were still a few kids lingering around in the main corridor, chatting and gossiping and talking about the activities of the day. The same woman that was in all white yesterday was now in all black, and she was walking about the cafeteria making sure that the students weren't lingering too long. I breezed past her, but I felt her staring at me, and I walked back towards the main hallway to go back towards my room. Once inside, I was met by the gaze of all of the girls. Everything okay? Did you get a hold of your mom? Asked Alicia. No, I talked to my aunt, and she's on her way to pick me up. You're leaving? Asked Tana. But the day has basically just begun, and my mom is coming to make sure you're okay, so it's no need for you to leave. You just had a bad dream. I'm just ready to go, I said, walking towards my things to pack them up. Wow, I think my mom's going to be very upset. She paid for us all to be here. She thought we were going to have a good time. I continued to pack. I heard her knock at the door, and of course it was Mrs. Caney coming to check on me. She asked me all of the normal questions: how I've been feeling, what did I eat before I went to bed, telling me that it's okay, that it was just a nightmare, and that I should stay and have fun. She even tried to bribe me by telling me that they had a huge library upstairs. I will admit I was intrigued by the library, but everything in me told me I needed to go. My aunt sent me a text and told me that she would be there in about 45 minutes. And Bea came to mind. How did she know? I thought. I decided I would wait in the main corridor next to the cafeteria. There was like a sitting area off to the left. I told Alicia and Tana to have a good time and hugged them goodbye as I went to the front door. I sat in the lounge room for about 20 to 25 minutes before I heard the door creak open. A guy walked in with a book in hand. He came and sat on the opposite side of the couch as me and started to read. I paid him no mind. I continued to flick through my phone. Closer to the 30-minute mark, the boy looked at me. He said, "Hey, have you been to the library?" My ears perked up. "No, I'm leaving." "Is that where you got the book from?" "Yeah," he said. "You're leaving? That's sad." "Yeah, not really. I'm ready to go. But how was the library?" "It was pretty cool," he said. "It's at least 1,000 books there, maybe more. Shelves and shelves of them. You should check them out before you leave." "Nah, I think I'm good," I said. And he said, "Are you sure? I can show you." "No, thanks. But you can tell me about the book that you're reading." "Sure," he said. It's about this family and their unjust treatment and how they were murdered. I'm into mysteries, He said, "Oh, cool." I replied, "On their deathbeds, they vowed to get revenge," he said, "on those who wronged them and on their families too." He sat up straight. "They put a curse on the land, and none who visit there are aware. But they eventually come to know that there is no escape." And he turned to look at me. By this time, I already knew something was wrong. I checked my phone, and it was closer to the time that my aunt was supposed to pick me up. I texted her, "Are you close?" "Yeah, I'm pulling up," she said. I looked at him and said, "Oh, well, that's the type of book I would be interested in." He said, "Really? It seems like it's right up your alley." "And how would you know that?" I asked. "Just a wild guess," he said, before getting up and walking away. A few minutes passed and my aunt texted me. "Come out to the car," she said. I nearly ran. I got outside and I was so relieved to see her minivan. I almost forgot to tell everyone that I was out. I sent a text in the group text to the family, and I said I was gone and to enjoy themselves. I got in the car, and as we pulled off, we rolled over a drain, and it was as if I was having a premonition. My mind went to a basement, and there was a pile of bodies, skins, and there atop the skins laid my body. I was gone. I sat in silence, hands trembling, because now it all makes sense. All of this, every moment of it, it was all a part of the curse.